If we don't notice something or we don't think it has meaning, do we not think that it has an effect? Today's lesson is about unraveling that. I'm Jamie O'Connor, your guide for ReWired. This is day 17. And I am coming to you on day 2 of starting to experience my own upper limit in doing these lessons. I'm coming off of taking care of my sick kiddo yesterday, who's still sick today, and starting to feel a lot of pain in my throat and seeing how I'm running into what was to be expected, the experience of physical transformation and the upper limits in coming to a place of the commitments that I am making. This is something that we all experience. I believe it's kind of part of the 3D reality of being human on this planet that we come to and face and have to overcome. One of the people who speaks to this is Gay Hendricks in some of his books, Conscious Luck, The Big Leap. I'm a big fan in a lot of ways, and it comes from the world of positive psychology. And I think it helps us to recognize when we're up against some harder things and some challenges that might keep us from the next step, to look at the experience from those viewpoints. And there is a lot more. There's a lot deeper. And I hope over these 365 days and the journey that I promise to show up to in any situation, in honesty, in authenticity, and share my lesson alongside what's really happening for me as I go through this with you. And I know I will experience this firsthand, and you will experience it firsthand in your own way. You'll come against your own upper limits and have to reconcile with those experiences, have to reconcile with doing a lesson from your bed to doing it in a place that isn't as convenient, or taking a step back from the perfection that you may want to execute it as. That's one of the plights most of us high achievers experience. So with all that, as I'm coming into today, and we have gone through yesterday exploring the idea of grace and the idea of accepting what thoughts are there, we are looking at the idea that I have no neutral thoughts. Now, I think this is a really interesting one for my own experience today and whatever you may be going through, in recognizing that we don't actually see or hear all of the thoughts that go through our mind. We don't acknowledge all of them. And a lot of them we dismiss as meaningless. And yet they all do have an effect on us. Neutral, positive, negative, every single one. And by the teachings of A Course in Miracles, we have not yet experienced the true nature of reality yet. We're still parsing through the thoughts that are created by the programs and stories in our minds, and that is totally okay. What we're trying to discover underneath the layers is the experience of total oneness, of complete love, of knowing what it feels like to experience an embodied version of love, where there is no separateness, where there's no thoughts that divide you in any way. And even neutral thoughts can have the potential to create division and separateness. And so, just like yesterday, we were exploring the idea of giving ourselves grace for all of the thoughts that exist. Today, we're accepting that all of the thoughts have an impact, and with that, no neutral thoughts exist. And so, as you go through your practice today, noticing the thoughts that come up in a short period of time, just label it as they come. This thought about whatever it is not a neutral thought. Now, this can be done in a practice period as we've done, and it can be done at any point in the day when you become conscious of a thought that comes through. One that feels neutral and meaningless, one that feels positive, one that feels negative. This thought about blank is not a neutral thought. In our dedicated practice periods, which you only need to do 3 of today, you can actually complete the sentence and the experience, the thought process and idea by saying this thought about blank is not a neutral thought because I have no neutral thoughts. Starting to recognize that none of your thoughts are neutral, that they all have some form of impact, begins to take away the ability of the protective parts to dismiss anything as non-impactful. When we realize that nothing is neutral, we can start to accept what is. We can start to accept the thoughts that are going through our mind without shame, without guilt. And the more that we can accept what is present with us, even the most uncomfortable feelings, we start to notice that they transmute, they alchemize, and they start to reveal the layers underneath that are the true gift, that are based in love and oneness with all, with your consciousness, with God and co-creation. So now I want you to find a comfortable place and connect your body to the earth and start to take your deep breaths in, noticing where the breath wants to go, sending it deeply to that place, breathing deeply in all the way through your body and slowly releasing twice as long as you let in. Relaxing your tongue down the back of your throat and feeling the sensations of the breath in your body as you let the air out twice as long as you breathe in. Taking a few more breaths at this pace, slowly filling your body all the way up and releasing about twice as long as you let in. And notice the way that the calmness in your body feels, creating some space and time, giving yourself enough moments for thoughts to arise, recognizing when they do that this thought is not neutral because I have no neutral thoughts. Coming back to this place today, just 2 or 3 more times, accepting what is, feeling a sense of gratitude and love for yourself for showing up again today. Day 17 for ReWired. I'm your guide, Jamie O'Connor, and I'm so grateful for you showing up today. If you've stumbled upon this video out on the internet somewhere or the audio This is 365 days of practices for the spiritually curious high achiever to help you rewire your brain for miracles, co-creation, and living deeply into your purpose. I'm your guide again, Jamie O'Connor. I'll see you tomorrow for day 18.